going to get into potential playoff matchups. With the new playoff rankings coming out tonight, I wanted to hear what each of you, what a matchup you'd like to see.
You know, this is kind of funny with the amount of Tennessee talk we've been doing, but I have Tennessee, Alabama. I think that it's a matchup that has turned into an all-time classic after years and years of volunteer tears. Now it's back and forth, and a playoff atmosphere with this SEC matchup in Rocky Top would be so cool to see.
I got you didn't say Liam Ryan. That stadium, not that great. I'm just going to be honest with you. Yeah, I would love to see that again this season. I think it could go either way. I think Alabama could absolutely win that game.
I think it's deserving of a rematch this season.
Absolutely. Jacob, what's yours?
I've got Notre Dame and Alabama. So this is currently, if the season ended today, we're using the AP poll. This would be the 8-9 game. It would be at Notre Dame. Alabama, of course, looked a lot better this weekend when they played LSU. Jalen Milroe was finally able to get going on the ground. They haven't gotten Jam Miller going on the ground yet, which I think they should probably focus on in the coming weeks because his yards per carry had been good up until this week. But I don't think they're as strong in the trenches as Notre Dame right now. What would have been interesting to see that won't happen is the matchup between Benjamin Morrison and Ryan Williams, because Benjamin Morrison, the star corner for Notre Dame, is out for the year. That would have been a fun matchup to watch, but I still think this would be a great game. It could potentially be just a ground-heavy game because we know how much Notre Dame likes to run the ball. That's their bread and butter.
They can't throw it to anybody.
Well, Leonard's gotten better throughout the season.
I agree that Leonard's gotten better.
He's not great, but he's gotten better. But it all just depends on how much Notre Dame needs that pass game because their run game has been that good this year.
I really think Bama would have this matchup.
I'd take Notre Dame in this one right now.
Bama.
And Jalen Milroe, LSU just looked lost this week. They just let him run. They're like, oh, there he goes.
If you can force Milroe to throw the ball, though, you've got a chance.
Definitely got a chance. He's not very accurate.
Nope.
Pat, what do you got?
I got a rematch from the Peach Bowl last year. I mean, we all want to see it. We weren't healthy. Some of our guys didn't show up. Chop wasn't there. A lot of our guys wasn't there.
Abdul played probably his worst game I've ever seen him play.
Well, he was fantastic in the first half until he got hurt.
Yeah, he got a little hurt, and he shouldn't have played.
Also, Kalen King should have played.
A lot of guys didn't play. And we didn't put up much of a fight, but we still had.
We were playing in the South.
Get us up here. Get us up here. December 20th, a 20-degree weather.
What's not an excuse?
We're playing in the South.
Playing in the South.
Now bring them to Happy Valley and see what happens.
I would love to see them play in the cold.
I don't think that had anything to do with it.
Well, I think if it comes up here, it definitely has
absolutely.
Trey Harrison Jackson
last year's game playing in Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Don't get me wrong, Ole Miss's run defense does scare me a slight bit, but their secondary doesn't scare me a whole bunch. I mean, our third and long defense needs our offense needs a whole lot of work.
Isn't it sad every time Penn State, if the team against us is in the third 15, I'm like, they're going to convert.
I'm just saying, on defense and on offense. Third and long offense is atrocious. Yeah. It looks like Drew has no idea what he's doing back there, and I love Drew.
It makes me nervous.
I mean, the biggest thing right now for me is they've got to get Nick Singleton going.
Yeah, and I think in that
he
game
might
it
not
could
play
be a big
this weekend because they announced he has an injury right now.
Yeah, I did hear something about that.
But they've got to get him going if they're going to win these big games.
You know what? I don't even care if he doesn't play for the rest of the season. I just want him healthy for playoffs.
Yeah.
Nick Singleton.
But I still think going up against Ole Miss's run defense might cause a little bit of an issue for Nick.
They were much better this weekend, though. Georgia didn't run the ball on them at all.
Yeah. Okay, for mine, I would love to see Georgia come to Happy Valley. I think we would win. I mean, I don't know if they would come to Happy Valley, but if, let's just say... Are you serious right now? You don't think we'd win? I think we would win.
I'm not saying we don't have a shot. I have hope.
It's a home game for us, so that's cool.
I think we would pick off Carson Beck like 3 times.
Yeah, but can Penn State get its offense going? They didn't score a touchdown against Ohio State.
You know what? I don't want to talk about that game. It looked like Mike Yurcich was the offensive coordinator for that game. I don't want to talk about that game.
But that kind of sets a precedent for this game.
He's not wrong.
If this was the matchup, that kind of sets a precedent.
I think that if we got our act together, I think we could win. I don't think it'd be a blowout. I think we could win. I think if they used Bo more, I think we could win. Okay.
I think we could win, but Georgia's just still so scared. They have national championship pedigree. I don't think anyone in the sport has written off completely Georgia from being
I haven't either. I've been like Georgia's biggest fan today.
But I think everybody writ us off.
The thing on offense for Penn State right now for me is I mentioned they got to get Nick Singleton going, and they need that second weapon in the passing game because Ohio State took Tyler Warren away the whole game. Who's going to step
Which
up
why
in the
wouldn't you?
receiver
Why wouldn't
room?
you double
Need Trey
cover Tyler
Wallace.
Warren?
Because
You
we don't
need-
have.
you need-
He played really well this
it
week. If
really
they
is
can
Trey
get him
Wallace.
going against
Well,
those
Trey Wallace
bigger
and Amari
opponents.
Evans need to be able to catch a ball.
Yeah.
And
Julian
sometimes they just
Fleming.
forget how to.
Yeah.
Well, Wallace has been solid
that
this
Wallace
year.
has
No,
been
Wallace has been
but
great
they
this
just
year.
couldn't get anyone open against
Yeah,
Ohio
yeah.
State.
No.
If teams are going to take away Tyler Warren, which they absolutely should, who's going to step up?
I don't know why Bo didn't play more against Ohio State, but like we don't have to talk about it.
I
can't
don't
go.
know if he gives.
He's
us the
better.
best
He's a
shot
better
to
runner than Drew. Drew runs like
Yeah,
2 miles
but
a
that's
minute.
not
Like,
necessarily the quarterback's job.
Yeah.
but like still.
If you have
Like-
Nick Singleton
Also,
back
Drew
there.
is much more mobile this year than he
Yeah, I
was in
don't
years
think
past.
Drew's slow by
Drew's
any
mobility is like comparable to Clifford now.
Yeah, but Bo is like
I don't
Trace
hate that.
McSorley in my mind.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but he's not the
Bo
passer that
throws
McSorley was.
interceptions like it's
that's
kind
not
of
the
What are
fun
you
out
talking
there.
about?
That
Bo
thought-
threw 1 interception this year.
I think he has
And
two.
how many passes has he
to a
thrown?
screen
He
over the
played
middle
great
of the
against
field.
Wisconsin.
To a
He
screen
did.
over the
He
middle of
had
the
a good
field.
game
Okay.
against Wisconsin.
Okay, we're gonna get into